I'm Matt Pichard with NAREIT's REIT.com. Here at the Marriott Marquis in Washington, D.C. for the 2016 NAREIT REITWise Law, Accounting, and Finance Conference. Joining me today is Jennifer Weiss, Principal Shareholder with Greenberg Traurig. Jennifer, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
What would you say is the most complex tax issue that your REIT clients are currently facing?
I think that depends on whether you're talking about public or private REITs. In the public sector, I think there is a lot of concern over the prohibited transaction rules, the safe harbor, whether or not they can fit in it. A lot of the public REITs are looking for liquidity and trying to sell properties or successfully selling properties, and need to know that those sales aren't going to be subject to 100% penalty tax. In the private sector, I think it's still the preferential dividends. Which has, been an issue for years and years. Obviously, it's been solved recently in the public arena, but it's just a footfall waiting to be stepped into.
And in terms of REITs and possible joint ventures, what would you say is the biggest issue that companies must address with their potential partners?
So I would say probably two. The first would be because REITs aren't typically the ones who are managing the joint venture. They need to negotiate upfront access to all the information that they're going to need in order to deal with, all of their REIT qualification issues, plus tenant services and things like that. So you need to get fairly detailed in the negotiation, because if you don't do it up front, it's just much harder to get it later on. I think the other issue that's going to be coming much more to the forefront is the recent partnership audit rules that have been changed. And those are very complex, and they require a lot of detailed provisions in the documents. And there are actually some glitches with respect to REITs, which we're waiting for guidance on, but we'll need to be flexible in terms of being able to amend those provisions as well.
And obviously the changes that were made to the FIRPTA rules in December were a long-awaited result for the REIT industry. What impact do you think that's going to have on foreign investment into the market?
Well, I'm not an economist, but I would think that it would have a relatively significant impact. I mean, foreign investors have been flocking to REITs for a long time because of the protections that they add, but the new FIRPTA rules, which broaden those protections, I would think would make REITs much more attractive as vehicles for investment.
And lastly, you've been coming to REITWise for a number of years. What do you think is the most valuable part of the experience for you?
Seeing other people. Other people who but don't necessarily see face to face very often. It's just a great venue to just keep talking to people who you like to talk to, and sharing ideas and meeting clients in an informal way. It's really valuable.
Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure, my pleasure.
For more from REITWise 2016, be sure to visit REIT.com.